Camera's all good? Yep. All right. Little volleyball match tomorrow. I'm sure y'all know about it, but Kentucky plays SEMO, 7:30, or 30 minutes after the conclusion of West Virginia and Illinois, whichever one is later of those two possibilities. So we'll have Coach begin with an opening statement, and then we'll go from there with questions. So.
Well, thank you guys for being here. First of all, I just would like to take a minute to say how impressed I am with our team. Just what we've been able to accomplish this particular season, and in combination with how long we've played, starting January 20-something, I believe, last year. But to be able to win the national championship last year, then win the SEC again with a completely different lineup and expectations and all that type of stuff, it's impressed me a lot daily, and to see them motivated and believing that they can accomplish more. I'll have a hard time justifying when teams or people say they're tired down the road, because the amount of stuff our team has gone through this year has been a challenge, but they've overcome so much. And also thank all the people that have gotten us here, from our staff to strength coaches to trainers to doctors to events people, marketing, ticketing. It's been a significant challenge in college athletics, and just super impressed to be here, standing here, ready to play the NCAA tournament again.
Questions?
Do you think, obviously, it all starts with preparation, and you all won the championship last year. Do you think the way you all prepared so far is similar to how you prepared last year in terms of just intensity, like you said, and just maturity?
There's not a whole lot of things we've changed. I'd say the biggest thing that we've changed is we've given more days off this year. We've had multiple times throughout the season where we've given 2 days off in a row, and yet we've done that in the past, but maybe once or twice during the season. This year we've probably done it 5 times, 6 times this year. So I would include that in preparation. The fact that we've been able to stay, knock on wood, remarkably healthy throughout this, minus a couple things here and there, and continue to deal with like every other team. But our preparation in terms of how we prepare defensively and offensively is very similar.
You've had a couple days now to, you're playing SEMO, you've got a chance to look at them on film and stuff, and obviously you guys are playing really well right now, but just what are the things you've identified from SEMO that they do well that you don't want them to do well tomorrow night?
Well, SEMO does a good job of distributing the ball. They have a pretty balanced offense. They have a couple kids, and Malloy, who was Conference Player of the Year, and Green, and other people that have terminal arms. So they run a little bit different offense than what we've seen. They run some things up the middle of the court that are atypical for teams we see in the SEC. So that'll be an adjustment. Like I told the team the other day, when you win a conference championship, you have players that believe. And they definitely believe in what they can do, and they would love nothing better to beat us. So mentally, I think it's as much of a challenge as physically.
I think going back to last weekend, after the first win over Florida, we had Cam, Allie, and Lauren, and they talked really highly about you as a coach and the way you form personal relationships with players and all that stuff. I guess just first off, what does it mean to you to hear them speak so glowingly of you? And also, I know it might be a basic question, but why does that matter to you? Why are you so invested in your lives outside of volleyball when other coaches might not be?
I think life is about relationships, and it's been on my computer for the last few years. It's not about volleyball, and I think if we invest time and energy into people, we have a better chance to get the best out of them, and they get a chance to get the best out of me. And it is rewarding to hear that from your players. And we've never promised any player anything, but we do promise them that we will be fair, and we will challenge them in every aspect of their life, because if we don't, then we're shortchanging them. But we try and recruit people. Again, they obviously have to be athletic and participate in volleyball at a high level, but you got to care. I mean, as people, you got to care about other people, and you got to care about the people next to you. You got to care about the program, and those 3 exemplify that as much or more than anybody.
You talked to us the other day about how far this team has come this year. What exactly have you seen that leaps and bounds, and how gratifying is that? Because that's what you want.
Well, the first weekend in Dayton, we saw some unreal, physically gifted players do some amazing things and small spurts. And then you saw some very unfortunate and characteristic mistakes that we don't typically do. And so closing the gap between good and bad was a big challenge for us to get to the point where we were more consistently executing at a high level, because there were high-level moments and low-level moments, and you saw some of those against Creighton, you saw some of those against the first 2 sets at Wisconsin, you saw some of those at the end of the Louisville match. But, you know, to be able to close the gap where we consistently be good, and if someone does get a lead, we can come back. And you know, if we wouldn't have done that, then there's no way we would have won 17 out of 18 matches in the league, because when if you're that inconsistent, you're going to get knocked off. So consistency was the biggest factor.
After playing last year in various facilities in Omaha, how nice is it to have the first 2 rounds at home this season?
Yeah, I mean, in convention center, nobody there basically except your parents and a few other people, and you know, walking, getting tested, COVID tested at 10 a.m. and then praying that no one, you know, tests positive and it's not a false spot. You know, it's so, you know, the fact that, you know, thousands of people came last weekend, and we're assuming it's going to happen the same. You know, just when you're a player, I mean, you see the people in there, it just, you know, you want to play.
I guess kind of going off that, you told a story, I think, back in August, like your first match here against Wright State, like there's 75 people, like you were begging your neighbors and parents at your kids' school to come and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, newspaper guy, mailman, FedEx man, no doubt.
How do you square that with the fact that we all had, you know, I think more than 6,000 people, you know, combined last week come out, and now you're going to be hosting 17 straight tournaments, just all those things that you built in this time?
You know, I don't want to quote Coach Stoops. I said we're just getting started. You know, I just honestly think that in this sport we're just getting started, because it's the, you know, women's sport that I feel has a chance to blow the roof off, and I continue to say that. And it'll take more than just me saying that. It'll take others to recognize that, and fans and generations of moms that have played this sport that say, you know what, volleyball deserves the attention that basketball and football are getting, and the, you know, investment all across the board to take this thing to the next level. I mean, why can't volleyball generate revenue for the university? And you know, I've always said that I want that to happen. I think it's possible, and I'm not going to stop until it happens. Our players deserve that. You know, our players work their ass off to get to this point, and you know, for everybody in the public not to recognize that, and media and corporations and all that stuff, it's just the beginning. So I can't wait to, you know, see it go to the next level. Sorry, I got a little sparked a nerve there, Cameron.
Did you anticipate Emma and Eleanor having such a big impact? Like, obviously Emma started the year at this position, started. Eleanor came into the libero position. Were you expecting such a big impact?
You know, they were high-level recruits, so I guess from that perspective, you know, we knew they would be great players for us. Can you expect a freshman to come in and be what they were? No, I don't think so. I mean, I think you see freshmen in football and women's basketball and, you know, Cal's team that, you know, some you see are like, whoa, they are definitely what their accolades were, and others are like, oh, I thought this kid was better than that. But Emma and Eleanor are just volleyball junkies. I mean, they will live in the gym. They will work at it. So they've earned everything they've gotten. But they were shaky at first. They had some moments of, you know, just inexperience. But they were willing to learn from their mistakes. Some people don't want to hold themselves accountable, don't want to put the extra hours in the gym, and they are willing. And I think that's led from the people above them and the seniors in the previous senior class that, you know, understood that, hey, it's not, this isn't for everybody, and not everyone wants to be the best. And if we do want to be the best, what does that require? So I would say, no, I wouldn't expect it from initially, but we knew at some point they were going to be great players for us, and all the credit to them for doing what they're doing right now as freshmen and all the accolades they've gotten.
In every bracket, there's always conversation. Oh, this is the top side of the bracket's heavier than the bottom. How do you see the balance of this bracket?
You know, I'm any coach, and I can see plenty of things that, you know, to complain about with our bracket. Every other coach can say, well, how is Kentucky number 7? You know, why are they that low, and vice versa. But, you know, I think you just have to choose that it's an opportunity, and our opportunity is we get to be at home. We get to play SEMO, and we win against SEMO. We get the chance to play the winner of Illinois and West Virginia. And, you know, you ask Bill Self at Kansas losing in the first round or Duke in the first round, everyone knows that anything is possible in the NCAA tournament, and our sport is no different. And the parity in our sport is unbelievable right now. I mean, there's some really good teams in every conference across America. So I think every coach knows that we can analyze our brackets, but we better get ready for round 1.
says with the quality of volleyball in the Commonwealth this year, that obviously Louisville's undefeated, you guys are the 7th seed. I think WKU's lost one match and they, did what they did in CUSA again. Just what do you think this is as an advertisement for volleyball in the state of Kentucky?
I think it's amazing. I mean, with our population base of 3-4 million people, that we have that many teams that are that highly regarded across the country in our sport. Per capita athlete, I would say it's probably at the top. And, I would love the fact that if one of those players, people in these sports, was recognized as Kentucky Sports Person of the Year. I mean, that would be a jump forward in women's athletics, for that to happen. I don't know when that's happened last. Maybe it was last year. I don't know, but it's been a while. But it's an amazing accomplishment, I think, for our sport. And again, I think it's just beginning.
Greg, it wasn't that long ago you were wrapping up last season because it was such an odd time, and then you get right into this one. And I know it had to be a grind, but on the other hand, you just mentioned the younger players who you plugged in. Was that kind of a blessing in disguise because they were waiting for the opportunity?
I think absolutely. I mean, I think the energy and enthusiasm and I guess anonymity of a freshman, they just don't know. They don't know what they don't know. And so they just come in, excited and enthusiastic to do the next thing. And it's refreshing. And, I think that one of the things I enjoy most about college athletics is that it keeps me young, because you're always coaching the same age people. They don't get older. They're always freshmen to seniors, and freshmen, they motivate you. And I think that they motivate the older players too. Like, oh man, this class is good. Let's do something here. So, it's a breath of fresh air every year to get a group of, naive freshmen ready to do this. And they have endless energy, and it's pretty cool.
Last year, Maddie really took advantage of the veterans who were in that lineup. And now she's a veteran. Has her role changed, or how has she evolved this year?
Well, she's evolved because the left side of the net is a lot different than the right side. On the left side of the net, 50% of the balls you get are up to the ceiling and out of system and not perfect, and so how you manage those. And so when you're on the right side, most of the balls you get are in system and with tempo, and so it's a little bit easier to manage sometimes. So she's really learned how to manage uncomfortable situations and bail us out of not perfect situations. And that takes a while, because when the ball does not come to you at the same time with the same rhythm, it throws off your approach, and you have to learn how to deal with that. So her maturity and being able to manage that stuff in the last month has really been impressive, and it's not going to stop because of her ability.
Last question. Anybody?